In my first blog, I talked about buying a SIM card from every country that I arrived at, or that Floyd and I arrived at when we were in South America. And even when we traveled Ecuador, we always had our expensive current phones that we use here in Canada, and we always had some other cheaper phone that we would carry with us. So I had this brainy idea. Well, it was actually a good idea, but it didn't quite work so well. So I go to Staples and I buy a power bar, which works really great because when you get to a hotel, you've got all the electronics, and there's usually maybe only one or two plug, and maybe the plug is way back behind the bed, so you gotta crawl under the bed or move some things and plug in your power bar, and then you can put 3 or 4 things charging on it. So we use this power bar. Well, actually, there was 2 kinds of power bars. There was the long one, and then there was the square one where you just put it in the wall, and then it had the outlets. So we used it in Ecuador and had absolutely no problem. We used it for about 2 weeks before we started our South America trip. We get to Peru, and I didn't plug in the power bar yet. What I did is I fried my iPhone 5, because my iPhone 5 at that time was my spare phone, and I can't remember what I had for a regular phone, for the good phone. I think it was an iPhone 10. And like I said, there's no way in hell I'm going to let anybody steal my iPhone 10. So I'll just take my iPhone 5, and I also bought an iPhone 6. I went on Kijiji, and I went and bought a used phone for, I don't know, $50, $25 maybe. Because I wasn't sure about the iPhone 5. So I bought an iPhone 6 that was used. So I think I was carrying 3 phones at the time, and Floyd was carrying 2. So I plugged this iPhone 5 in. We're at this hotel in Peru. I do believe it was our first stop. And this is a really nice hotel. It's a big hotel. And I plug in my iPhone 5, and it goes poof. And so I pull it out of the wall really quickly and think, oh shoot, what the hell happened here? So I go and I plug in the power bar, thinking maybe I need to have a power bar, then I won't have a problem. So the power bar was fine. I plug in the power bar, and I go plug in the iPhone 5 on the outlet, and it starts to smoke. So I pull it out of the wall, and then I get this brainy idea to go into the bathroom and use the outlet, the razor outlet, because it's got a little less power, I think. I'm not sure. But anyway, I had a different power bar. It wasn't that power bar. It was the square one where it was square, and it had you could just plug it right in and then use put your phones and attachments. Well, I put it in there, and it's like boom. There was no power in our room. I go down the hall, and there's no power down the hallway either. So, no, I'm not a very good guest, am I? So I go downstairs, and I bring this power bar with me and my phone with me. And I'm thinking, maybe it was just the room. So I go downstairs, and I say to the guy in the reception, I said, hey, I'm having trouble with this thing. I said, do you want to try it in your outlet and see whether it works? So he does. He takes the power bar, he puts it in, and I think my phone at that time was attached to it as well. He puts it in the wall, and kaboom, boom. no power. No power. So I don't know. I think that, and we were up on the something like the fourth or fifth floor. So that floor and the floor below it had no power. And then I go downstairs and ask him to do this, and now more floors have no power. Like half of the hotel room, half of the hotel was out of power. So I said to him, well, let's just go find a maybe you have to just flick it back on. Well, we couldn't find it, so he had to get an electrician. So 3 hours later, or 2 or 3 hours later, the electrician came, and we got power. But he must have thought I was the guest from hell or the renter from hell to to make the power go out in the hotel. And I'm sure all those guests were not happy because it happened around the prime time when you get back, between like 6 and 9, when everybody's back in the hotel. So the next day, so then now we have a power bar that was smoking. There's no way we're going to use that anymore. And another one that, like I said, the one you use in the bathroom, it was kind of a little discolored, so we're not going to use that one either. So we took a walk, and we needed to get a phone chip. So meanwhile, we're looking for a power bar from Peru, because we weren't sure why the power bar from Staples didn't work, and it did work in Ecuador, but why it wasn't working in Peru. So we did a little hunting, we did a little bit of shopping, and found a nice little power bar from Peru, and plugged it in, and luckily it had some USB slots, 2 of them, and man, oh man, we've been using that often. But we take it with us everywhere. It's a little on the heavy side, but it's been great for travel. So taking a power bar is one of the things we do, and we take each one of us take 2 phones with us. One phone we leave in the suitcase. I mentioned that on another blog, but I'll mention it again. We each take 2 phones. One phone, the one that we use all the time here in Canada, and another older type phone. And the expensive one, we leave in the suitcase when we walk out, and we take the old phone, or it's usually a used phone, or sometimes it's an iPhone. Lately it's been iPhones, but prior to that, it was other phones as well. I went into a site years ago, Alibaba, and I picked up and I ordered, I don't know, 2 or 3 telephones from, I do believe they were from China, and they were nice and light. They were just small little things, and they were nice to travel with, because at that time I wasn't proud of wearing a purse. I was just using shorts with my photocopy of my ID and money, and I left my all the other valuables in the suitcases. We split our suitcases up we put our valuables, our passport, our money, and our good phones and our electronics, anything valuable, we split that up within 4 suitcases. We have a backpack each and a roll bag. So I have two bags, and Floyd has 2 bags. And so we would just split it up and all, and just to keep it safe, so that if somebody walked in to the hotel room, they wouldn't know which bag has the valuables. Because, sometimes those maids leave those doors opened, and it's not necessarily, I'm not saying that I trust all maids. I really actually don't trust very many of them, but they leave those doors open sometimes and go run to get a towel or sheets or something, and next thing you know, somebody's walking by and sees something valuable on the counter or something, and it's easy for them to just scoot in, grab it, and take off. And so we lock all our bags, even if when we go down for breakfast, and we're only down there for an hour. Even when we go down there for breakfast, we lock all our valuables up in our suitcase. And we have 4 locks, and all 4 of them are the same code, same password, passcode. So we take the phone that we don't care. If somebody steals it from us, it's okay. It doesn't matter, because our main phone is the one that's going to have our banking and PayPal and passwords. The other phone, if they steal it, so what? It's only a $30 phone. And that's the one we carry with us. And that's when we leave the hotel, when we wander around, we carry that with us. We go get a chip from that country, and we each get a chip. And there's lots of, when we're traveling together, there's a lot of times where we just kind of lose each other for a while. Floyd wanders off somewhere, and I'm wandering off in a different direction, and we want to find each other. We just call each other and say, hey, where are you? Oh, I'm standing over here by the bench. And so it comes in really handy to have each one of us to have a telephone. So, and it's really great with the plans. The plans are really, really cheap in some of these countries. $5 for, I don't know, 7 days or 14 days of, you get free Facebook, free Twitter, and free YouTube included in it. So then we get a SIM from each country. And on my previous blog, I talked about getting a new SIM with a company called 3. So I will carry that one with me as well, and I'll get a SIM with the country, and I will have actually my phone too. And Rogers is really, really expensive when you leave the country, but it's $15. Well, actually, it might have gone up now. It might be even 18. But if somebody calls me on my phone and I pick up, it's $15. They charge $15 a day. Now, we can receive SMS messages. We can get messages, but we can't respond. If we respond, we get charged the $15. If we get a call and there's call display, then I can go into Skype or FaceTime and call a person back. But if you call me and it says unknown number, then there's no way I'm going to call you. I'm not going to know who you are. So if you like to have unknown numbers, it makes it difficult, because we won't be able to call you. But if we see your name coming up, and we'll call you right back. And on Skype, and Skype is like 3 cents a minute or 2 cents a minute. So I think I've covered it all. I hope I have. So press the subscribe button. That's what they say I should be asking you to do, asking people to do. So I hope you liked the video.